All right, so obviously we're going to look at Mulberry Street today. Relatively short lesson because it's so repetitive. If you learn this one riff, you'll have about 95% of the song, right? So it's a good and a bad thing. Short lesson, but you get to play the whole song from it. We'll touch on the bridge in a minute. So this is basically a hybrid of what we were doing live. I was kind of laughing when we ended up doing it on stage because Tyler was playing his regular piano. I ended up doing like a Rhodes electric piano sound, and Jesse was playing like a honky-tonk piano. But it kind of worked. I guess they got the mix to work out. So I'm doing a hybrid of all of that. I'll show you the basics, and then I'll show you how to soup it up a little bit with, like, I would do little spicy things on the Rhodes. But yeah, let's get into it. So your first chord, it's this D that's it's not suspended. What would that be? Is that augmented? I'm terrible with my musical phrases. Anyway, that's chord 1. It resolves. And then you got this D2. Okay? D2 because the second note of the scale. You're replacing your third with the second one. Then to A. This note has started to stick, so this is going to be the worst part of this lesson is me having to do that. I don't know how to fix it. All right, so again, 1 right there. Now you can do 1 bass note, you can do octaves. My favorite is the toggle back and forth. So you basically do low and then high for most of this, to where you're on the left hand, you're doing. And then same time here, F sharp, B, and then A. There's that stick again. Okay, so again, left hand, bum, 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 bum. Okay, that's the left. Now back to your right. Again, this is 1. And I like to keep these low too, guys, when I go play this melody. Does that make sense? A lot of this is like just a tiny bit of pedal, really not much. It's really just to get like from one chord to the other, but in general it's nice to have it nice and short. Okay, and then you're to that D2, and then you resolve it to the A. Same little melody on that F sharp. Back to chord 1. And then when we go to the F sharp in the bass, this D inversion right here. Okay. And then when we go to the B in the bass, you're doing that D2 again, and then A. And then when I do that little turnaround, turnaround chord, which is, I call this. Okay. You're keeping the A right here in the middle on your thumb, and then your bass and your C sharp there moving up together. Okay, so that's really the gist of it. Let me play it like half speed for you, okay? There's a couple tiny extra timing things that are just like burned into the way that I play, which is a lot of fifths in my bass. They'll just be like little accents and lead-ins to chords. That all the time. I don't even know that I'm doing it half the time, so it's hard for me to do it without it when I'm trying to like play real rigid. Now, I think that's about it. Let me do a little souped up one for you here, which is basically, I'm just breaking up the timing with my thumb and my other fingers, and then a couple of extra left-hand things. So like, kind of the advanced version if you really want to soup it up. But again, if you're just a beginner and you're trying to play the basics along with the track, get those kind of 3-4 note chords going and just do single bass notes. Right? Won't even have to shift, like everything will just be kind of right there in your left hand. Okay, that's really 95% of the song, which is awesome. Let's take a look at the bridge. Here's the little lead in. It's gonna start on G. Okay, F sharp. Why you gotta do that to me? All right, so I missed one note in there, but you're starting on G, and you're kind of just toggling your 2 high notes with your thumb, like I just talked about. A major, B minor. Here's the one I missed, the C sharp in the bass. Over A, so A major over C sharp. And then that's a D. When you jump up to the F sharp here, you can roll this D chord, which is what Tyler does on the record. And then you're landing on this sort of A minor over C. It's a C chord, but you're basically playing the melody, okay? So C in the bass. Is that guy ringing out still? Okay, that's chord 1. And then you're going here. So D sharp over B major. Okay, and then you're at E minor, I guess. Yep, and this is a neutral E minor, so no major, no minor, okay? That will bring in your minor there. And then keep your thumb right there. You're gonna walk your bass down. Okay, and then to A. That's it. So one more time on that bridge. Oh man, this hasn't been a problem in the lessons before because none of them are relying on that F sharp. Okay, so there's that. You can do single bass or octaves, whichever. Sense. I think I touched on everything. There was the little kind of crazy bluesy riff that I played at the beginning along with the band there. That's kind of, if you want the advanced version of that, it's basically leading into the one. It's like do, 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 do. It was on the road, so it wasn't even that obvious live, but I did really like the riff. And it kind of sets me up for the downbeat. So if you want that really slow, I'm not going to break down exactly what's going on with the bluesiness, but I will play it slow for you. So something like that, right? So didn't stick. All right, so that's the lesson. Thanks for hanging out. Those drum beats I've been making at the beginning of these videos, some of my best friends have a company called Teletone Audio. That drum program's called Tympo, and there's another one, Electro. They just have the sickest like drum beats and synths and pianos, almost all the instruments by now. Check them out. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around for more. Like, subscribe, rate, all that stuff. See you guys. Peace.